Today I'm going to be replacing the analog stick on my left JoyCon controller for my Nintendo Switch. I'm going to go ahead and show you here that it's experiencing the drift problem. So I'm going to go into calibrate controls, push down on the left JoyCon, and here we should see it start to drift in an upward direction. So there you go, you can see I'm not touching it and it thinks it's fully pressed all the way to the top. So slide that out of the way here, show you. So I went online and I picked up this kit for about 13 bucks and I got two new analog sticks, a little plastic pick, a pair of tweezers, and two sizes of tri-wing screwdrivers here. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and take the switch and press the control. We'll go ahead and release it, and from here we'll hold down the sync button until it shuts off. Okay, so I just tapped it a couple times and it went ahead and shut off. So now we're going to go ahead and get on the back side here, and we need to take the smaller tri-wing screwdriver. Let's slide the rest out of the way. And we'll go ahead and get these tiny little screws removed. Alright, so I got 4 screws removed from the back, so now we're just going to go ahead and pry this apart. Just get my fingernail in here, and you want to make sure that you don't turn it upside down because there's going to be some parts that might fall out. Alright, so now we got the back off, and now we have access to the battery here. So just going to go ahead and take the little plastic clip here and gently pry the battery out because it is kind of glued or taped in place here. And at this point we want to go ahead and just give this a little tug and pull the battery out. Alright, so now we have access. We need to show you here with the battery out. So now there's going to be 4 screws that we need to remove these screws because the analog stick is going to be underneath of this plastic plate. So I'm going to go ahead and start packing these screws out. One, the third screw is going to be down here at the bottom. So let me show you. Right here is the third screw that you want to remove. So you want to remove 1, 2, and 3. Okay, now this whole plastic plate should lift off, and now we have access to our analog stick, and it's going to be held in by 2 screws. Let me move my hand. So the analog stick is going to be right here, and we need to remove this screw and this screw. So in order to get access to this screw, we have to remove the ribbon cable here. So just take your little fingernail and you just pop up that little tab. It doesn't use any force. And then take the pliers here and just kind of give that a snug little tug and pull it out, and we'll go ahead and lift that out of the way so that we can get access to that screw. Alright, so that screws out, and next remove the second screw, and again we have to remove the ribbon cable, so we just need to lift up. To remove the ribbon cable for the analog stick, you just want to lift up here on this black little tab. Again, no effort, just lift it up, and then you can just grab and pull the analog stick ribbon cable right on out. And try to avoid the rest, and then it is out. Alright, so now I'm going to take my new analog stick and go ahead and slide it in place, trying to keep these other ribbon cables out of the way. So we'll go ahead and just kind of bend that one up, and we will drop this one, or drop the stick through the hole. Alright, so get the So we'll put the analog stick through the hole, drop it in place, let that ribbon cable fall back into place, and we'll go ahead and put in the first screw to hold the analog stick in. Okay, got the first one in. Reset that, and this is going to be a little bit tricky, but you just need to hold that ribbon cable out of the way while you screw the screw back in. Alright, so now that the two screws are back in, you just want to take the ribbon cable here, take that with our tweezers here, and just slide it right back into that slot. You know, these little cables can be a little frustrating at times, but just take your time and make sure you don't tear it. Alright, so I got that slid back into place, and I'm just going to put the little lock, take my finger and just fold that back down, and now that ribbon cable is secure back in place. Now I'm going to fold that over, and we're going to put the ribbon cable back in place for the new analog stick. And again, we're just going to need to slide it back into the slot. Okay, and that is in there. So then we're going to fold the black tab right back down, and now that ribbon cable is secure. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and I knocked out my little Z control here. So I'm going to go ahead and put that right back into its slot and fold that back over and put the little battery case back in place. And now that that's in place, I'm going to grab my 3 screws that we removed. Put the first one in place. Get the second screw back in place, and then finally the third. Okay, so we have the 3 screws back in place for the battery. So next, I'm going to just take the little connector here for the battery and just pop that right back into place. Just kind of set it right in place and push it down. Alright, so that just pushes straight down. And then put our battery back in place and fold this over. Okay, snap the back of the case back on, and now I'm going to put the 4 tri-wing screws back into place on the back of the controller. The JoyCon has been reassembled, so I'm going to go ahead and slide that back on. Now I want to calibrate it, so I'm going to go ahead and push this. Now we can see that it's almost centered, but we're going to go ahead and hit X. And we're going to calibrate and follow the instructions on the screen. Okay, and now it's back to centered. So as you can see, this fix was pretty simple. You know, it took less than 15 minutes start to finish for me to do it, and we have a working JoyCon now, and I didn't have to spend $80 for a new pair of JoyCons. I was able to fix it for you know, I paid $13 for this kit, and you can get the analog sticks themselves for under $10. So I hope you found this useful, and thanks for watching.